what do we make of this Freedom of Russian Legion attack on Russian soil? And a lot of people are like breathlessly, oh, it's a Russian civil war, and you know, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, but really, I think we need to lower our expectations. You know, if you're thinking that they're challenging Putin, look, these guys are attacking across the Ukrainian border towards Kursk, and they're making limited gains. And you know, this is not going to undermine Putin's regime. But wait, what it may do is something actually better for Ukraine and more likely, more achievable. That is, divert Russian efforts away from advances, especially in places like the Avdiivka direction. Because ISW just yesterday assessed that the Ukrainian ammo shortage is worse than Russian gains would imply, right? They say, you know, they think that the Ukrainian front line is more fragile and that Russia has, you know, they haven't been putting the resources in as much as they have. And the thing is, if that's the case, right? If you know, if you're going through this thing, and we think it's temporary, because Europe and other nations are trying to get, like, you know, the Czech initiative, get those rounds in, so we have a soft spot, right? The Ukrainians have a gap, have a problem in the short term. Enter the Freedom of Russia Legion, and so now they're attacking across the border, and Russia now has to say, well, all right, do we let these guys run around shooting up our conscripts? Because that's all Russia's got there. They put their conscript troops in that area. Do we let them run around shooting up these guys, or do we move troops around and come at them? And another thing is the timing here, right? March 17th is the election for Putin. And Putin has been pushing to get gains on the ground. So strategically, this is very well timed, and they're going to, you know, create this problem. And operationally, because of that, Putin is probably going to freak out and maybe or order more troops diverted, right? And so I think the timing here is just very excellent for Ukraine. And at the strategic level of kind of blunting the news that, oh, well, yeah, you took Avdiivka and, you know, things look bad, but hey, look, this is going on. But also operationally on the ground, it's going to divert, it's going to cause Russia to have to bring forces around and back up the forces they already have along those lines. And it's going to take the pressure off the Ukrainians at a time when they don't have the ammunition. So this is at a military level, this is freaking brilliant, right? But you know, at a level, there's some people who are really enthusiastic about these guys, and I don't want to throw cold water on it, but hey, look at it this way: they don't have to take over Russia. If it's a civil war, they gotta, you know, that's a big ask, right? That's a big thing that they've got to do to be considered successful. If, however, they are, you know, steal Putin's thunder at election time and divert a lot of Russian forces around so that they can't make as much of a gain in Ukraine during the ammo shortage. That's huge. And that's, you know, I think that's going to be hard to see, right? We aren't going to appreciate how successful this is, possibly, because of that. And so I'm kind of saying, look, the real goal is more achievable, but it's smaller, and we're likely to miss it. And if we, you know, if we build expectations on the Freedom of Russian guys that they're going to do more than cause chaos and divert, like I say, that's kind of putting a lot on them for what they're doing. But so that's how I see this, and I think it is very well timed for Ukraine, and very ill timed for our boy Putin.